Welcome everybody. Today we are taking a look at the Netflix version of Nemesis Prime. Now I have to say this right off the bat, that I know they've released the Siege version before without the trailer, but I think that having it released again with the trailer is actually really kind of a cool feature. Now it is interesting that they went with the Siege version again instead of using the Earthrise version. But with this being the visceral character that it is, I think it just suits him a lot better. Plus, I mean, in this color scheme, when does this color scheme not ever work? But we did go ahead and mention the Earthrise version, so here's Optimus compared to Nemesis. And you know what? I mean, obviously the trailer is identical, but I just kind of want to show you how he stacked up to OP. And another reason that I kind of like the fact that they didn't just use the Earthrise version is, aside from this mold fitting this character better than it did for Optimus proper, it was the fact that they're close as Nemesis Prime should be, but there's just those slight little bit of details that help differentiate them, especially when we get to robot mode. Now, this is not the first time that we have received a Nemesis Prime in the recent line. They had the Power of the Primes version. And, you know, I mean, obviously, when you compare the two, I mean, you have to cut this one a little bit of slack because it was doing, you know, the evolution feature. Like Siege and Earthrise has showed us, when you go back to basics and it's just doing its thing, it looks a lot better. On Nemesis, when you open up his trailer, everything that he has stores inside, just like it does for the Earthrise trailer. So once you get the base all folded out and everything situated like it is, when you go ahead and attach them to bigger ones like Scorponok, that actually looks pretty cool in my opinion. With that being said, guys, let's transform and rise up to see his robot mode. So is it really any wonder, and do I really even need to say it? Yeah, I don't think I need to. And looking at these guys, however, I think it's pretty obvious which one is the better mold. This guy's hindered by the gimmick he has to do. Plus, this is the new size that Nemesis have to be to match the whole scale that they're going with. You put this guy in there, he totally blows that out of the water. However, if we're going to get real particular, like we talked about, you can have some things that are different, but the Optimus head is the one thing you don't want to screw with because that's, you know, one of the iconic features about him. Now, for this figure in this mode, or in his Nemesis Pax mode, it's just a little bit too stylized for my personal taste. It's not quite feeling like a true evil Optimus Prime. So a little side note here is this is the one that came with the new Nemesis Prime. This is the same wrist blaster that came with the big one. You can see the coloration is a little bit more silverish here, whereas this is just more like your standard gray plastic. And it's not only that, you look at the other assortment of things that they come with, it's obviously, you know, very light compared to what came with the big one. This over here. Alrighty guys, so this is a shot that I kind of feel I have to show just for comparison's sake. But the one thing that I do stand by is the fact that his wrist blasters fit better on this version of himself than on this one. Although I am warming up to the idea because of Nemesis Prime being as alpha as he is. But other than that, I know what you guys have really been wanting to see. So before I forget about it, I just want to show you guys the repaint of Slitherfang as, I believe it's Giza. And obviously that makes so much sense. I still love the fact that it's a Cobra. Now the one thing that it did come with was 3 of these red Energon Cubes. The 3 of them are in a bag and they're just sandwiched in between 2 deals of black Play-Doh. No joke, like legitly just black Play-Doh. You just pull it in half and there it is. This plastic somehow has absorbed the smell of the Play-Doh, and to me Play-Doh just kind of reeks. I mean, this is solid plastic, but it and the other 2 that came with it sort of smell like Play-Doh, and I've washed them, and I don't know, they just, you know, whatever. I'm not going to let it bug me. Only thing is it would have been better if Nemesis actually had hands like Optimus, because he could have, like, held the Energon Cubes, but as he is just the Siege version, that ain't happening. So unless you just toss him in his chest for whatever reason, yeah, it's just kind of a set piece. That might have to be the thumbnail. I'm not quite sure yet. But that looks awesome. These two guys, I mean, when you put them up like this, I mean, it is, the mirror effect is just so good. So, as you can tell, I'm obviously very happy with it. So here we've got a scene where all the Autobots have basically got the crap beat out of them by Nemesis Prime, except the only one left standing that is giving him, well, a fair fight. And I love that look because these dudes are just locked in mortal combat. You know, and you can imagine Optimus is pretty chapped off because all of his men are just laying around nearly dead, beat to, you know, smithereens, and it's all because of somebody that looks like him. However, I hate to leave mid-battle scene, but anyway guys, that's all I got basically to show you. So I hope you enjoyed this look at Nemesis Prime, and until next time guys, we'll see you in another review.
Destroy Autobot. Prepare for termination. Fat sense, fathead.